friends, welcome back to Clip Artistry Heaven. If you are new here, I'm Lucille and this channel is all about helping you create and sell digital products using the power of AI, creativity and smart strategies. Today we're diving into something I know so many sellers struggle with, the myths. Yep, those lies we actually tell ourselves that's keeping us from actually starting or growing our Etsy shops. In this video, I'm busting 10 biggest myths about selling digital products on Etsy and actually anywhere for that matter. And I'll show you the truths that will set you free to build your profitable shop without the overwhelm. So grab your notebook, hit that subscribe button, and let's bust some myths together. So this video is slightly different to all of the other videos that I have already listed on my channel. I ordinarily speak about software tools that I use in my business, the processes that I apply, the strategies, the methodologies, and I like to test out different AI tools for my community because that's really what I'm really passionate about. But today's video is more of leaning towards my personal journey with Etsy, my digital store, and just over the last year and a half, the things I've done, the things I believed, what kept me from progressing. And if you know anything about me, I try and share as much as I can so that people who do follow me can learn from me and perhaps maybe even expedite their process quicker than me, better than me, and make more money than me. So I really dug into my journey on Etsy as well as my digital product store, and I thought about things that I told myself in the beginning, this just coming up with all sorts of reasons. So this is not like a generic list. This is what has happened to me over the last year and a half. And I'm just hoping that anyone can draw from it and perhaps just bypass, speak yourself out of the lies, and hopefully you can get to your destination quicker. So we're talking about 10 myths about selling digital products on Etsy or any digital store, or any digital product platform, Shopify, Wix, Creative Fabrica, the list goes on. And so let's bust some myths today. If you've ever thought, maybe I can't do this, please just stop. That is your first red flag. Who told you that? You know, that is probably one of the things I struggled with the most when I started. I come from a non-designing background, not creative, on the extreme opposite side of the spectrum, extremely financial, analytical, structure, you know, doing the same thing over and over, processes, framework. I've got no experience other than the last almost 2 years now. So trust me when I tell you, I have told myself I can't do this more times than I can count. And that's probably the biggest one out of them all. So please be ready to discover what's really holding you back. Be honest with yourself, speak with yourself. If you're anything like me, I do the comparisons in my head. I look at people that's been doing this for 5 years plus. They've got massive social proof. And trust me, I know what that feels like. But it's a lie. It's not the truth. It's not your reality. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go through all 10. Let's dive into the truth behind these common misconceptions. So myth number one. Seasonal products sell only during that season. That's a big fat false. Buy your shop throughout the year. Whether it is Christmas clip art, Halloween designs, junk journal pages, Happy Mother's Day related stuff, or whatever it is. It's one of the biggest misconceptions that people only buy Christmas items during Christmas. Now, I will give it to you that during the Christmas period, yes, they sell a lot. They sell a lot more, right? But right through the year, people buy all sorts of theme-related seasonal items, even when it's out of season. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, in my position, I sell to a crafter. More than likely, I sell to someone who uses my designs and they would then slap it onto a physical product or do print on demand and have a physical product shipped to a client, right? Now, they can't start their process a month or 2 months before the time. There's a lot that goes into it. SEO keyword research. You have to study the trends, see what's hot at the moment, and they need to be prepared 3 months before the time. When I say that, within 3 months before the holiday, they already need to have their physical products done. So they've done their planning, they've done their mock-ups, they've done the SEO keyword research, they've checked out their competitors. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into being a print-on-demand seller and a physical product seller, right? So for them to buy from us a month, 2 months before the time, they're too late. And that's why you will always hear me saying 3 months before the time. List your products 3 months. I will go as far as 6 months as a supplier. But I suppose for some that would be like extreme. I list Christmas anytime I want to. I don't wait for Christmas. I don't wait for Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, if I feel like doing a Valentine's Day bundle, I'll do a Valentine's Day bundle. So the myth that seasonal products only sell during that particular time, it's not true. And let me show you quickly my store and what happened yesterday, just to prove my point. So this is my store, Clip Artistry Heaven. And if you are an Etsy store owner, you will know that if you set your filter on most recent, so you can change it to relevance, lowest, highest price. I like it on most recent, not just my store. Also, if I check out competitors or if I want to buy something, I like to use most recent. Why? You will know that most recent means that that's the most recent listing. Whether it is a brand new listing or whether it is a sale that has occurred and a new listing, renewal listing has taken place. Now, I'm going to tell you these two products over here. Yesterday I sold 2 of these, Juneteenth. So the SEO keywords is all got to do with Black History Month, Juneteenth, and this one. Both of these sold yesterday. I sold 3 of these products, Juneteenth, during September. So just to prove my point, here are more. These are also recent sellers. This sold 2 days prior. This one sold as well. Passover, the story of Moses, Exodus. That doesn't happen this time of the year, but it's still selling. So I just wanted to prove my point that it does not mean that if you list a product for a particular season, that it will only sell that time. There's more that I can go through, but I think you get the point. Smart sellers know that people plan ahead, buy for storage, or shop off-season for better deals. Your Halloween designs can sell in July, and Christmas clip art can start moving in August. I'm already selling Christmas clip art. In August, it started picking up. So that's myth number 1. So number 2 is, and this is something I struggled with, you need to be a graphic designer to succeed on Etsy. Now, yours truly over here is not a graphic designer. I don't package myself as a graphic designer. I work with graphic designers who are very, very talented in what they do, but I do not promote or position myself on YouTube or anywhere else as a graphic designer. I'm not a designer. What I am is a very enthusiastic AI designer, organic, without any experience with traditional designing. I can't hand draw. I don't have, I've never drawn in my life. I'm analytical, I'm financial, I build budgets, I can do your taxes, I'm structured that way. That's my background. But if someone tells you that you need to be a graphic designer to succeed on Etsy or your own digital store, it's not true. I think I'm living proof. There are tools like Kittle, Artistry, Canva, Playground, Geogram, Dali. The list goes on, right? And these tools, especially with the arrival of OpenAI, ChatGPT, are making it so easy for us as non-designers to tap into this particular industry, right? So AI tools such as Kittle, as I've mentioned, generate stunning designs with simple prompts. And if you are able to design, if you do use Photoshop, if you are an illustrator by profession and education, and guess what? There's a lot of people in my community who's been designing for 10, 15 years. You'll read their stories, like in our community, right? they are still part of my community because AI brings a different side to this whole designing niche. And if you are a designer, much respect to you. You are still welcome. We can still learn from you. There are things, obviously, as non-designers that I can't lean on. But it doesn't mean that you need to have an official qualification or experience or a certified graphic designer, because I think I'm living proof that I'm not, right? Canva, drag and drop templates make design accessible to everybody. You don't have to be an expert designer to use programs like Canva. It's so dummified, it's so simplified, it's intuitive, and anybody with an internet connection and a Canva subscription or the free plan can just get onto Canva, design some social media templates, and do your own social media or do it for a company or a client as a freelancer. So it's not necessary, and I can attest to that. Artistry is another tool that I use, extremely easy for beginners. Again, you don't need to know the ins and outs. I would recommend you join a community of like-minded people where you guys speak about common challenges and how-tos and what do I do and which tool must I use. That's amazing. Do get into a community. Our group is now on 2,200 members and growing. So if you're looking for a home, please look at the description. The link to our Facebook group is there. We would be happy to have you there. So in closing, modern tools have democratized design. Anyone can create professional looking digital products. So myth number 3. Only trendy designs sell. That's not true. Evergreen niches like flowers, quotes, and animals provide year-round sales. Think of it this way. Trends are the sprinkles, not the cake. Your foundation should be timeless designs that never go out of style. Floral patterns, inspirational quotes, animal illustrations, geometric patterns, nature themes, and so on. Let me demonstrate again in my store what I mean by this. So we'll use the same most recent example. This was also a product that was sold, I think, today. It's not trend related. It's not Halloween. It's not Father's Day, Mother's Day. It's just something that can be applied, used anywhere, any time during the year. And it speaks to the funny granny clip art bundle. The funny old ladies, very popular. A lot of my funny old ladies, since I started my store, has been really carrying my store, and it's a non-trendy design. So again, just to show you and to bust the myth that only trendy designs sell, this is me showing you, and I can show you more. These are all most recent, right? This one, okay, that's trendy, it's happening now, right? These are all non-trendy themes. This one also sold the other day. It's also Black History Month, but we've passed it, right? Some of the ones that sells right through the year. This one is one of my fastest best sellers. All of these have sold. I suppose it is trendy, but they were selling in 2024 as well as 2025. I've already started listing 2026 in 2025. They buy the stuff throughout the year. It's not true that only trendy design sells. And let me warn you, those just chasing trends on TikTok and Pinterest, you will forever chase trends. Be careful of that trap. If you build your store just on trends, you will forever chase trends, and you will never be able to lean back on designs that's evergreen, where you do not have to chase the trends. I mean, wouldn't it be lovely to have a store where things just sell regardless of the time of the year? Another strategy that I would use is perhaps 60% non-trends and 40% trends. So when it gets to St. Patrick's Day, when it gets to 4th of July, when it gets to Labor Day, and all these other holidays that's being celebrated during the year, by all means, add some of those well in advance in your store. But I think the bulk of your split of products should be leaning more towards evergreen than trends. Just on these funny old ladies, this another bestseller. This sold very well. This also started selling. We just listed this one. This also sold. Funny old people with tech challenges, they love that. This one sells on repeat. This was also a favorite once upon a time. These have sold. So you get my point, right? Some of the products that's like heavy repeat sellers are not trendy products. So that's just to bust on myth number 3. Let's go to number 4. So myth number 4, you need 1,000 listings to make money on Etsy. Not true. I started making consistent sales when I got to about 150 in terms of listings. Now, there is this figure 1,000 being thrown out there. I cannot speak for everybody. I cannot speak for all YouTube channels. I can only speak for myself and share this again with my community, right? So when I think 100 is a good number to start seeing sales and the momentum building. When I got to 100, I would get some sales. Slow, of course, because I don't have a lot of keywords in my store, so people wasn't really searching for what I had because I didn't have a lot of volume in the store. When I got to 150, things started picking up. The more I added, the more keywords in your dashboard, on your back end, on your Etsy seller back end, you can see exactly what people are searching for. So the more I listed, the more there was more keywords to be discovered for. I would get more traffic, more reviews, more sales, more visibility. I started getting best sellers, but it was around the 150 mark, not 1,000. I never got to 1,000 as in a round figure 1,000. The close to 1,000 products I got to was about 950, and I'm down to, I don't know, you might have seen in my store now, I'm down to about 488. The reason for that is I'm busy going through like a purging process where I'm splitting my 2 stores, where Clip Artistry Heaven will be purely clip art, junk journals, and seamless patterns, and all the rest, tumblers, mug wraps, which was with Clip Artistry before, that I've moved to another store, right? But I didn't have to wait for by 1,000 to get weekly deposits from Etsy. You can choose your cycle, monthly, I don't know, twice a month. I'm set on weekly. So every week after my sales, Etsy would pay me for products that I've sold. It wasn't by 1,000 listings. So this is definitely not true. And I would just be careful when you hear people say you need to get to 1,000 listings to start making money on Etsy. So quality over quantity, 30 to 50 well optimized products. I'm mentioning this because of my research. There are stores who start making sales sooner, but just keep in mind you need to really look and see how they did it. Do they have an existing community? Do they have a following before Etsy? Etsy might be a last resort. They might have been selling on Facebook for a longer period, and it's easier for them to gain traffic through their email subscriber list, their Facebook group, etc. So there's a lot that goes into this study. Just be sure of what you are basing your strategy on. Focus on SEO. Each listing should target specific words and solve real customer problems. At the time of this video, there has been some updates from Etsy about listings and titles, and that we need to change our titles. Just be very sure about what you do. Test their recommendation. Test their, I don't know. We don't know. It's a new recommendation, and people are split between, on YouTube, they split between should we change, shouldn't we change. Please do your research before you do some fundamental changes. Better conversion, fewer, higher quality listings means better customer reviews and repeat buyers. So chasing a number just like at random with 1,000 is going to burn you out, number one, if it's not a good strategy. It's nice to say 1,000, but I think you need to put more thought into it. Instead of just making 1,000 like your target, right? There's a lot that goes into 1,000 listings. I managed to do 950 in a couple of months. I'm now at the point where I need to look. The first half year on Etsy, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no community. I wasn't doing any courses. I wasn't in anybody's, buddy system. I was just trying to figure this thing out on my own. And I can tell you 1,000 listings will burn you out. There's days where you don't want to do anything else because 950 products, man alone, no VAs, is not an easy task. I am sort of purging now, so I'm taking out what is not working, and we will steadily, as a team, get back to that number. So be very careful about myth number 4. People like to throw that figure out there without actually backing it up with research. So myth number 5, digital products equals 100% passive income. I think it's a nice title for a YouTube video, and it grabs attention, and it speaks to the rich, quick scheme, those that subscribe to that type of way of making money. It's a nice YouTube title. It's mentioned a lot. It's the furthest thing from the truth. There is a passiveness in earning on Etsy. Simply, you design once, you list the product, you get your first sale, you get your second sale, it sells itself. You get your reviews, you get your listing score up for that particular design. That's just one product. You have to consistently list new products. Especially, we spoke about seasons and trends earlier. You have to consistently work at new products. You have to check people's preferences. What do they like? Is it watercolor versus 3D art style? There's a lot that goes into running a digital product store. It's not 100% passive. There is a passivity to it where, as I've mentioned, you create a product once, it sells on repeat. That's the best part about Etsy. You design once, you list once, and it sells on repeat. That product is not going to sell forever, right? Like the graduation 2025, although I've done, I think, about 70 sales on that particular product alone, it's not always going to sell because we're almost at the end of 2025, which means I have to now, and I have already, started with 2026 tumbler wraps for graduation. And guess what? We're in 2025, and they are starting to sell. But if I really took it as passive, I don't have to do anything after that, I would not have sold the 2026 tumblers, which I've done research on, which I've done the mock-ups, etc., etc. It still requires work. So yes, there is passive income to it, design once, done. However, to keep that income flowing, you need to consistently be designing and checking out trends, checking out competition. All of what I mentioned is work. Success still requires strategy, SEO optimization, and regular updates. But here's the magic. The compounding effect. So if one product, for example, is 60 or 70, one of the funny old ladies is 100 plus. There's a Christmas design that's sitting on 160 odd. So can you see, I just designed those once, right? The compounding of those that are selling really well, it doesn't stop there. You need to consistently refresh your catalog, refresh your products, and that is the non-passive side of Etsy. Each well-crafted listing continues working for you 24/7, building momentum over time. But there's always work required for the digital product store, okay? So myth number 6. So what are we saying here? Etsy ads are a waste of money. I've briefly spoken about Etsy in my digital product bootcamp course. If you are new to the concept of selling digital products, you don't know where to start, you'd like to get on Etsy, please check out my digital product bootcamp course. It's available on my website. Do it at your own pace. And I go through everything that I have gone through on Etsy. I just share it with my community. I go through 10 products where I show you exactly how to design them with some of the tools I mentioned earlier. Artistly, Canva, Ideogram, Kittle, Dali. I go through all the tools. It's available on my website. And if you want to, you can just comment on this video and I'll send you more information. But let's talk about Etsy ads and the myth that it's a waste of money. I'm not going to position myself as a guru in Etsy ads. Let me be very clear with you. I have not been super successful with ads. And I think, for me, I probably need to learn more. Everything that you see in my Etsy store and my digital product store is all organic sales, mostly organic. I would say 95% organic. Let me explain where the 5% comes in. When I started on Etsy, I spent not a lot. I didn't have a big budget, and I cannot remember the dollar value, right? But I spent, I would say, anything between $5 to $10 a day on Etsy as a newbie. Again, I had no community, I had no course, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew Etsy ads is in my dashboard. It's like a click, and it should work, magic. In the beginning, when I think I was more successful with ads than even earlier this year. Sometimes I try it out. I haven't been truly successful. What I want to say is it's not a complete waste of money. I have gotten sales through it. I have gotten reviews through it, repeat customers through it. It did work to an extent. However, when you look at my store, just keep in mind 95% of that is organic, meaning my SEO keyword research had to be done properly. My mock-ups, my presentation, the selection of my themes, evergreen versus trends, and everything and anything that goes into that process. That is 95% organic. Now, if I was smarter with Etsy ads, or if I understood Etsy ads more, perhaps I need to sign up for a course with someone who can show me social proof of how Etsy ads actually works. But until then, I won't say Etsy ads is a complete waste of money. I can't say that. I've gotten sales from it. Did I make a profit? Probably not. Break even at most. Because you can control, you can check and see how many I've sold, how many, what is my revenue, what is the cost. It's not working, switch it off. So you are in complete control in that regard. But when you look at my store, think organic. And let me tell you, I have been told it is more difficult to sell organically on Etsy than it is to scale your store with ads. It is much harder to sell organically, meaning trying to understand Etsy's algorithm and knowing how to write tags, your descriptions. So I teach primarily organic strategies. I haven't been super successful with ads, and I will not position myself as such. So I just want to put that out there. It's amazing to test new products. Absolutely. Ads, you must also remember in the beginning, as a business expense, you have to use that to gather data. You don't know what you don't know. You're opening a brand new store. Yes, there are millions of people visiting the website every month. You don't know who's going to come into your store or are interested. If you don't want to wait 3 months for that data, you're going to have to spend some ads to try and see what are the keywords that people are typing in to get to your store. And that data will put you in a position to create products more aligned to what they have entered into the search bar. So please don't say ads is a complete waste of time. I would say I would probably have to get more educated on Etsy ads because I do see the benefit in it. So you can test new products. Ads will help you quickly validate which designs resonate with your buyers. If you're spending on ads and you get lots of people clicking on your ads, but they are not buying, that already is telling you a lot more than a dry store with nobody coming. That tells me that if someone clicked on my ad, they like the thumbnail. Nobody's going to click on an ad if the thumbnail is not inviting. So firstly, your thumbnail is right because a lot of people are clicking on it. If they look at your listing and they're not buying, they've already seen the price. So it's not a pricing issue. It's not a presentation issue. So now they're clicking on your product and they see the listing information. What does it include? What is the format? Is it transparent? So once you open that part of your product listing side on Etsy, there could be things that's not written well in your description. Because remember, when you go to Etsy as a shopper, you don't see everything. You have to click on it to get all the information. So it could be that the mock-up images, or there's not enough mock-up images. You're selling a digital product, but you're not putting the images forth in such a way that shows a practicality of your PNG design. You're not showing it on a notebook cover. You're not showing it on a mug. You're not showing it on a mouse pad. There's something beyond your price and beyond your thumbnail that it's not working. So that is what Etsy ads can do for you. It can boost seasonal items. So listen to more successful YouTube channels. What they are saying is during December, they have a budget for December for Christmas. They might not spend anywhere else during the year. Why? Because Q4 is the most profitable time on Etsy. So what they are doing, they are escalating, or rather increasing their chances of success with ads. That's why I tell you, I might have to do a course to try and understand the ad spending. But a lot of them, what they do is they don't spend during the year. They spend Q4 because it's the most profitable time of the year. And they will spend on Christmas, for example, related products, not the whole store. It builds visibility. You need to be seen. If you can have the prettiest store, and if no one sees your store, you're going nowhere slowly. Ads help you with that. Ads can let you get seen versus ranking organically and perhaps not the best at writing your SEO keywords or title and description and never get seen. But with ads, that can speed up the process and you will be able to be seen faster. And I've already alluded to the fact to gather data. We live in a data society. If I look at my stats, I look at data. Where are my people at? Who's supporting my business? Which part of the world are they at? What do they like more? The digital product bootcamp, the monthly membership. Who's spending? Females, males? What are the age bracket? Where are they coming from? If you don't have this information, you cannot build a successful business. You are living in a data-driven world. So you need to when you get on Etsy, get as much data as you possibly can. And use the data, the keywords that people use to visit your store, to build better products more aligned to the information that Etsy shares with you. Etsy ads is not a waste of money. In fact, you need to see it as a cost of business in the beginning, then you break even, and then when you really cracked it, you start making a profit on your Etsy ad budget. Okay, over to myth number 7. So, please don't try and reinvent the whole wheel. I think this is super important because a lot of us get stuck into the idea that you are going to bring something new to the table. Don't do that. Do not do that. The truth is you need to repurpose like a pro. One design can become multiple products. What do I mean by that? If you create a seamless pattern that you've done your research on, you know people are looking for it, you know there's a demographic, you know where to find them on Facebook, you've done all your homework, right? You can use that same pattern on different items. A sticker, perfect for planners and laptops. Or tumbler wraps, popular for personalization. You can use it for seamless patterns. The list goes on. So that is smart. That is a smarter way of working, rather than trying to figure out everything from scratch and taking all the time that is going to probably be wasted because you're trying to come up with something new. Research 20 of the most successful competitors in your niche, right? See what they are doing. What do their mock-ups look like? What are they giving away free? What is their messaging? How do they speak? What is the tone of their messaging? Who's their clientele? What's their demographic? Open a spreadsheet. Jot down how many products they've got listed. Second column, how long have they been on Etsy? Third column, what is the average price of their listings? That's also data. That's manually you entering data that will help your store. Don't try and start something that you don't even know if it's going to be successful. Look at what the most successful people are doing. Analyze their stores, as I've just explained, and try and come up with something like a combination of the best 5, and just like become better than what they are doing it, because that's the only way you're going to compete with them. Your best leverage that you will have as a new Etsy seller would be to be better than what they are, let's say in the AI designing game. You will have to be better. If you see a Highlands cow tumbler wrap with a Halloween theme, hot chocolate and whatever the case may be, and it's a best seller, if you can't come up with something better as a new seller on Etsy, you don't have the following, you don't have the social proof, you don't have the 5 years on Etsy, you definitely don't have the admirers who admired your store, you've got 3 sales maybe, and you want to try and compete with the best of the best out there. I don't think that is going to work. So your strongest, and sometimes price also doesn't even matter. Price doesn't even matter sometimes. People will go for quality, and they will pay more for a better design. So the best leverage that you have as a brand new person, assuming you've got no following, no email list, you haven't sold before, but pretty much what I was when I started. If you are that person, the next best thing that you can do is to try and become better in your designing than the best of the best out there. And that is definitely possible. So don't try and reinvent everything. Watch the most successful people, gather your data, and try and find the sweet spot and become up with something better than the rest. Okay, so myth number 8. So there's this belief that only US holidays and Western holidays sell. That's not true. Global buyers want designs for their celebrations too. Diwali is not a westernized US holiday. But do you know how many Indian themed related, let me show you, Indian themed related products that I've sold? So it's not true. And people believe these things. Let me show you here. And I don't even have a lot. These ones sold repetitively. They are not westernized holidays. Diwali festival lights, they are celebrated by millions of people around the world. So don't just go for the westernized holidays. You can be missing out. You could be leaving money on the table, as they say. Lunar New Year, massive market across the Asian communities globally. That's another thing. And I don't even have Lunar in my... Black History Month, I opened with that example. I showed you. It's not predominantly a Western or US holiday. It's a global thing. It speaks to the pride of Black history, right? I showed you the 2 examples that I sold yesterday in September, but it's a June holiday. Ramadan and Eid, it's another one. It's not a westernized holiday. Beautiful opportunities for Islamic celebrations, designs. There are people, and it's the second biggest religion, and millions of people, a billion plus, are celebrating it, and millions of people could be looking to buy non-US Western holidays products. So definitely not true. I've demonstrated with my own store. So please tap into holidays that are, not. Kwanzaa is another one that comes up. The Kwanzaa holiday, somewhere in December. I don't know much about it. Sorry for my ignorance. Hanukkah is another one. It's not a westernized holiday. But I've sold a lot of Jewish tumbler wraps in my store. It's not predominantly Western or US. I know you get my point. So please don't only focus on US. You could be leaving money on the table. Okay? Let's go over to the next one, which is number 9. So myth number 9, you need to price low to compete. The truth is, underpricing actually hurts your credibility and devalues your work. My clip art bundles are not the cheapest. I go in sometimes at $5. I've got some normal 16 bundle designs that's $6 or $7. But because I know that market is going to buy, that demographic is going to buy from me, I know I can get away with a higher ticket value. I have looked at my stores and other stores. I'm not the cheapest clip art seller. So I just want to put that out there. So the sweet spot for digital products is That's a sweet spot, 5 to 15. I've got another product, which is my whole store bundle, which is priced at 50. I've sold a couple of those. $50, right? It doesn't mean selling cheap is going to guarantee success. That's my point. So if you're thinking, if you're going to go in at $1 because you just want to go in at $1 to get a lot of sales, it doesn't always work like that. Underpricing, as I've mentioned, can hurt your credibility and it can make you look cheap. Low prices signal low quality. That's a fact. Customers expect to pay fair prices for good work. Higher prices allow for better customer service. You can afford to invest in better tools and marketing. So, what I've also seen with discounts, because I try and run discounts a lot, but there are days where I forget about the setting up the discount and then days go on and it's full price. It doesn't mean sales stop. People still purchase. People still buy at full price. If they want that and it's got high quality, they will pay $5 for the item. So it's not true that you need to go in low. Saying that, you can have a penetration sales strategy. That basically means you start your Etsy store, you go in low just to get some sales, reviews, traction to your store, visitors, clicks, whatever. But you are planning it with a lower price with the intent that as soon as you start getting recognized, you're going to start increasing your price. But to stay a $1 type of store inevitably doesn't guarantee success, because as I've mentioned, I sometimes go without discounts and people pay full price. There's a lot of people in Europe that, especially the funny old ladies, example that I made, it's very popular in Europe. I think they've got a fondness for senior people. It reminds the messages, it's just from messages, oh Lucille, I love this bundle. It made me think I work in an old age home. It made me think of my granny. And a lot of them sits in Europe, right? So, and they pay full prices. So don't think that going in cheap is going to be your ticket for success. If it's a strategy and it's a smart strategy, different story. But as a long-term plan, I don't think so. So that is number 9. And let's go to the final one. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If there's any questions, let me know. Drop your comments. Happy to answer and get back to you on anything we've discussed in this video so far. So number 10, isn't this just the most overused excuse? I'm going to call it that. Overused excuse. If you are in any Etsy groups or any digital product selling groups, it's like when they don't have an answer for you, Etsy is oversaturated. It's not true. Saturation actually equals demand. If there are a lot of people doing it, it means it's correlated to a lot of people asking for the product. This is so overused. It's so overused. I was there once upon a time, but it's not true. It's not true. High competition equals high demand. Where there are lots of sellers, there are lots of buyers. It's logic, economics 101. There's a lot of buyers in that area that's actively searching and purchasing. It could simply mean that you are not strong enough to compete with the sellers in the market at the moment. That is an easier fix than to believe Etsy is too saturated, closing up shop, moving on to something else. Finding out saturation is over there as well, and never working through what it is that's actually keeping you from becoming a success. Room for unique perspectives. When there are lots of sellers, it's easy to bring in something new, right? Every seller brings their own style, voice, and approach to the market. So see it as an opportunity. Okay, wow, there's a lot of Etsy sellers here. It must be because there are a lot of customers for this product. Given that, now let me bring something fresh and new to the market that's probably going to take my competitors longer to get to understand or get the skill or whatever. Bring something new to the table. And you will quickly turn that negativity of oversaturation into an actual opportunity. The more sellers there are, the more micro niches open up for specialized products. I kind of just said that now. So bring your flavor, bring your style, bring your own vibe, bring your uniqueness. Etsy is all about buying something that almost nobody else has, right? My name, my date of birth, my marriage, my this, my husband, my daughter. It's all about bringing that uniqueness to a market that's founded and based in handcraft originality. If you are just going to do what everybody else is doing, like in a herd community, you are going to feel oversaturated because you're not standing out. So please don't let this myth keep you down by believing it when you actually should say, millions of shoppers a month on Etsy, this is an opportunity. And I want to stress this because I too, at some point, when you see and read something for so many times, it actually becomes a truth. And the Etsy groups that I when I visited or whatever, it always came up. Just give up. It's oversaturated. It's like this AI is taking over and it's not working, and just everybody is now a seller. And if everybody's doing it, it's telling you there's a demand for it. Use that opportunity, bring something new, and set the trend. Don't blend in. Don't do what everybody else is doing. And don't blame oversaturatedness if it's actually an inability to compete. That's the end of my myth busting series. I hope you have learned from my mistakes. I hope you have learned, if you are faced with any of these myths that I kind of spoke you out of it, let me know in the comments. I thought of the 10 most used myths, excuses, in other words, that I've encountered. And as I've said, this is the end of it. You now know the lies that is actually keeping you behind. These myths have stopped countless of creative entrepreneurs from starting their Etsy journeys, but not you, right? We're changing that. Too long I've been also telling myself, you are not an artist. You are not an artist. Go back to accounting, do some reports. This is not you. This is not for you. You will never succeed. You're not good enough. You can't compete with the best. These are things that I told myself. So this video is very close to me because it's actually a reflection of my earlier self as when I started Etsy. I really hope it does break you free out of your own situations, thinkings, or sort of lies you've been telling yourself. I told all these things to myself, and I'm so happy that I actually didn't give up on this journey. I've met amazing people. I still do every day. I connect with people that I probably would never have connected with otherwise. If I believed any one of these myths, I would not have been able to create the things that I have created, that I have built, and even the relationship that I've founded through this journey. Don't do that to yourself. Don't believe lies, and do your own research. Don't just take what everybody's telling you on YouTube. Okay? So, are you ready to start your Etsy success story? Choose your niche. Pick evergreen topics you're passionate about. Optimize for SEO keyword research. Research keywords and write compelling titles. You don't even have to buy eRank and Allure and all. You can use Etsy to give you that information. All of that, those techniques are in the Digital Product Bootcamp. I take you through everything, mockups, SEO, how to find products that's in demand. I go through, trust me, just go to the information page. I share everything that I have gone through. Create quality products. You have to create quality products. If you're going to create things that looks copied and pasted, you're not going to excel. Quality is the name of the game. Use AI tools and templates to design professional products. Scale and grow. Repurpose designs and expand your product line. The only thing standing between you and Etsy success are the myths you choose to believe. I could have believed it and I would not have been here. So take my journey as a testament if you want to say this was what happens when you say no to those myths and no to those lies, or I could still believe them and just not take up the opportunity to start your own Etsy success story. And when I say Etsy, it doesn't have to be Etsy. You can start on Payhip, it's free. You can start on Beacons, Stand Stores, Wix, Shopify. The sky's the limit. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to you if you made it to the end. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. My monthly membership, AI Prompt Heaven, the link's in the description. $9 unlocks all the prompts. Some of the prompts that I've showed you in my store, they are sitting in the vault. So the vault is also a means to sort of bypass SEO keyword research, because I do the research, I give you the tags, I give you the prompt. You can change the prompt, change the hair, change the lipstick color, change the clothing, change the gender. I give you the base prompt, you change the prompts, and you then generate a consistent bundle. But I've done the homework for you already. Check it out, it's $9 a month. Thank you so much for watching, and especially if you stay to the very end. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.